This episode of Against the Odds is brought to you by Card Kingdom. To pick up the deck and support the show, follow the link in the description box down below. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. So as you know, last week we did not have an Against the Odds poll, which means this week we are having a very special episode, and it also means it is time for our next Planeswalker Tribal deck. So if you followed the Against the Odds series for a while, you know that ever since they changed the rules so you can have multiples of the same Planeswalker, not the same exact one, but Planeswalkers with the same name on the battlefield at the same time, we've been working our way through essentially all the Planeswalkers playing tribal decks. It's been a little while since we've done one, so this week we are playing Ajani Tribal, and this one is kind of unique. It's actually pretty sweet, I hope. Ajanis are a unique Planeswalker, a strange Planeswalker to build around, but we'll talk about that more as we go along. So a quick reminder before we break down Ajani Tribal for Modern. If you enjoy this deck, and you enjoy Against Odds in general, it would be amazing of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Ajani Tribal, starting with the Ajani. So we have about 1 million Ajanis in the deck, 7 different Ajanis, and the thing that makes Ajanis unique as a Planeswalker is, unlike some other Planeswalkers, like Jace or Gideon or even Nissa, Ajanis don't really do much on their own. Ajanis are creature-focused Planeswalker, so to really make any of the Ajanis be good, we need to not only have Ajani Planeswalkers, but creatures to use them with. So first off, we have a bunch of Ajanis that put counters on our creatures. That's kind of a running theme with Ajanis. +1 on Ajani Color Pride, counter on a creature. Ajani Adversary Triumphs, we get to put counters on 2 creatures. Ajani Mentor of Heroes, up to 3 creatures get +1/+1 counters, or we can put them all on the same creature. So these Planeswalkers all put counters on our creatures. They also do some sweet other things. Adversary of Tyrants can reanimate a small creature if it dies. Mentor of Heroes has another +1 that can dig to find creatures or Planeswalkers. Ajani Color Pride's actually a really good finishing Planeswalker. If we can get a big creature, we can just give it flying and double strike and smash our opponent in one shot. And then we have kind of our anthem Ajani. So Ajani Goldmane, Ajani Steadfast do not break from the Ajani norm of needing creatures to be good, but rather than putting counters on 1 or 2 creatures, they put counters on everything. So Ajani Goldmane, most of the time we're just playing it -1, -1, -1, putting counters on our team, also giving our creatures vigilance so we can attack and still have them back on defense. Ajani Steadfast, on the other hand, we can -2 to put counters on all of our creatures, also loyalty counters on all of our other Ajanis, which is kind of sweet. We can also use it to gain a bunch of life by plussing on a single creature and giving it first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. So as you can see, pretty much all the Ajanis need creatures. The only exceptions are a couple of our top-end weirdo Ajanis. So Ajani Vengeant is kind of like our removal Ajani. It can tap down usually a land or a creature. It can also lightning helix with a -2. If we ever ultimate it, we just Armageddon our opponent. And then Ajani Unyielding digs through our deck to find permanents, which our deck is pretty much all lands, creatures, and Planeswalkers. We got a little bit of removal, but we're grabbing normally at least 1, sometimes 2 or even 3 creatures or Planeswalkers when we +2 it. We can also just -2 to Swords to Plowshares. So Ajani Vengeant and Ajani Unyielding give us a little bit of Ajani-based removal. So, as you can see, the theme of all these cards is we want creatures. We need creatures for any of our Ajanis, or for most of our Ajanis at least, to really be effective. So what is the best way of taking advantage of these powerful Planeswalkers that need creatures? The answer here is hexproof creatures. So the trick of these hexproof creatures is if we have creatures with hexproof, as we are putting counters on our stuff, and negativing our Ajanis to put counters on all of our stuff, or giving them lifelink and first strike and all these abilities, we don't have to worry about getting blown out by removal. If we didn't have hexproof creatures, we would be kind of activating our Ajanis for nothing a lot of the time, because we're like activating to put counters on our creatures and do all this stuff. Then our opponent just fatal pushes or terminates or any of the powerful removal in the modern format. So we start off with Barista Tower Archer and Selena Ledgewalker. These give us hexproof 2-drops. Tower Archer, really good on defense thanks to reach. It gets pretty big. Ledgewalker is one of our best attackers because it's like pseudo unblockable, can only be blocked by creatures with flying. So if our opponent has a bunch of hollow ones and Tarmogoyfs, we can keep swinging through. And even though these creatures don't look that scary, they get pretty big pretty quick when we're activating multiple Johnnies each turn. And then at the top end of our creature curve, we have Troll Ascetic and Dungrove Elder. Troll Ascetic is nice because it has hexproof and it can regenerate, so we can kind of block with it forever. Dungrove Elder requires us to warp our mana base a little bit toward forest. I think we have 2 non-forest, non-fetch lands. The rest of our mana base is forest. So normally when we're playing Dungrove Elder, it's a 3/3 for 3, and then it keeps getting bigger throughout the game. So it's already huge, and that doesn't even include all the benefits that it gets from our Ajani's putting counters on it. So it ends up being super, super massive. So that is basically the deck. Play Ajani's as many as possible. Hopefully have at least a couple of hexproof creatures out and make those creatures absolutely insane thanks to our Ajani's and how well they interact with hexproof creatures, or creatures in general, but especially the hexproof creatures. Otherwise, Birds of Paradise Noble Hierarch just speed us into our Ajani's a little bit faster. Ajani's, we have 1 3-mana Ajani, a lot of 4 up to 6 mana Ajani's, so being able to get them down a little bit quicker, pretty important in a fast format like Modern. For removal, 3 copies of Path to Exile, the only non-Ajani, non-creature card in our main deck, not counting our lands, but just gets rid of anything for a pretty low mana cost. I think that might be Ajani getting killed in the art, so kind of a non-bow favor-wise, but still, it's a really good card for Modern. In the mana base, Gavany Township gives us another way of kind of pumping our hexproof creatures, just a one-of, a bunch of fetch lands to fetch out some shock lands, a bunch of forests, and just one single plane. So our mana base, like I said, really skewed towards forest to support our Dungrove Elder. In the sideboard, one of the concerns with the deck is while our main deck is pretty good against creature-based decks, because we have these massive hexproof blockers, we got Ajani's that gain life and make our creatures better, if our opponent's comboing off, we can run into trouble. So Worship and Damping Sphere give us cards that are really good against unfair spell-based combo decks. Worship is especially scary in our deck since we have so many hexproof creatures, so we usually will always have a creature to make sure it's turned on. Then we have a bunch of stuff for specific matchups. Rest in Peace for graveyard decks, Stony Silence for like Tron and Affinity, Ancient Grudge for artifacts, Fracturing Gust can get Affinity, can also get random like hollow ones or other artifact decks. Some people are playing like Hardened Scales Affinity decks now, also good against Boggles, an answer there. And then we have a little bit more removal, Path to Exile, Ratchet Bomb, Settle the Wreckage, and that is Ajani Tribal for Modern, and that is our Against Odds deck for this week. So this should be interesting. I think I'm a little nervous because Ajani's, like we've been talking about, unlike some of the other Planeswalkers that just stand alone, you play a Jace, you draw cards, you bounce things, kind of works all by itself. You play a Gideon, you make some tokens, you attack with a Gideon, works all by itself. Ajani's, if we do not have creatures on the battlefield, they don't really do anything at all. They're not killing our opponent's creatures for the most part, with some exceptions. They're not drawing us cards for the most part, with some exceptions, but they really need those creatures to be good. So I'm a little nervous that unlike some of the other Planeswalkers, it's not like you'd be like, all right, I'm just going to play all Ajani's and trust that they're going to win the game on their own. But on the other hand, if we have out a couple of creatures, the Ajani's can be absolutely insane and win the game in a really fast manner with giving things double strike and lifelink to put the game out of the reach, or just making our creatures so massive that our opponent can't deal with them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this weird combination of hexproof creatures and Ajani's comes together. But hopefully we get a bunch of Ajani's out, we activate them a bunch of times, and maybe even win some games along the way. So anyway, that's Ajani Tribal. That's our Against the Odds deck for this week. Let's get to the gameplay so you can see how it works. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Alright, Against the Odds time. We are playing Ajani Tribal, and I think we're gonna ship this one. Too risky. Okay, this is better-ish. Noble Hierarch, I think to the bottom. All right, Affinity. Hey, Wilding Jar, Moxo, Bulldog, Steel Citadel. Oh, just kidding. It's Lantern. I don't know if we. Oh, I don't know what this is. Ugh. Well, Forest and the Noblest of Hierarchs. Maybe this is the +1/+1 counter deck. Forest for our opponent. Hardened Scales for our opponent. And there's Hangerback. X2. Opponent passes. Well, what did Foothills? Racket. grab a Temple Garden, untapped, and run out Trollsetic. Ship the turn. Opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. 4 is for our opponent. Evolutionary Leap. Ugh. Alright. Opponent passes. Well, Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Take a Temple Garden tapped. Let's just Trollsetic. Number 2. Pass the turn. Counter. No sack yet. They're just going to make a million Thopters. More leaps. Opponent. No attacks. Well, play Ajani Goldmane. Take down. But we can't really attack. And now we're going to get thopped like crazy. Pass the turn. Counters. Here comes a million Thopters. Into Steel Overseer. We're so done. Sacks a Thopter. Gets another hanger back. Yeah. I think they got us. Worker. Overseer. Hanger back Walker. I don't think there's any coming back from here. Getting in. Killing Ajani. Sure. Yup. Opponent passes. Yep. And that does it. Alright, we got some good sideboard options. Bring in Ratchet Bomb, bring in Ancient Grudge, bring in Stony Silence, Path to Exile, Worship, Fracturing Gust, Settle the Wreckage. Oh my god, how do we fit all these cards? Let's go down Ledgewalker. Go down... Man, maybe we gotta, like, trim Ajani's? One... Cut a birds and a birds? Alright, let's try it like that. Alright, we're on the play. Alright, well, we got Stony Silence, and Stony Silence is pretty good. So Forest and Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Forest for our opponent. And Worker. And Mox Opal. Opponent passing. So let's Stony Silence. And Temple Garden tapped. Pass the turn. Forest for our opponent. And Hangerback. Just a little 1/1. Gets in for 1. Alright, sure. Down to 19. Opponent passes. Oh my goodness. We're kind of drawing all the stuff that we want to draw. Well, let's play Troll Ascetic. Play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Opponent. Arcbound Ravager. And Ancient Stirrings. Crack Wooded Foothills. We would like some of our big Ajani's. Well, I mean, let's play Dungrove Elder. Stomping Grounds. Tapped. And yeah, let's just pass. Opponent. Another Ravager. And passes. Alright. Well, run out Ajani Goldmane. Play Windswept Heath. Take down. Go attacking. Opponent blocks. Oh, on Ravager. Opponent untaps. Walking Ballista. Opponent passes. Alright, come on, more Ajani's. Give us more Ajani's. Crack. Grab a Temple Garden. Untap. Ugh. Well, take down Ajani. Go attacking. Opponent blocks. Sticking with a Ravager. And pass the turn. Alright, more Ballistas. Opponent passing. Well, let's tick up Ajani. Get in with Dungrove. We basically just kind of built our own abyss. Opponent blocks. Yup. Counters over to Hangerback. Play Dungrove. Pass the turn. Steel Overseer. Plays a land. Opponent, no attacks. Well, tick down Ajani. Get in with Dungrove. Opponent, and they are not going to cash in that Hangerback. Blocks with a Ballista. Pass the turn. Ancient Stirrings. Another Ravager. Ravager. Opponent. We want our opponent to just block. Another Dungrove. Well, take down Ajani. Attack, attack, attack. Opponent. Blocks. And blocks. They just refuse to cash in that Hangerback. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Throne of Geth. Well, Stony Silence does not let that do a thing. Opponent passes. Play Windswept Heath. Take up Ajani. Get in with Dungrove. Opponent. Alright, there's the block. Yup. Makes a bunch of Thopters. So, crack Windswept Heath. Grab a Forest. Fracturing Gust. And opponent scoops it up. We even had another Stony Silence to just replay it. And Ajani Tribal. It's kind of doing its thing. Well, run it back. Run it back. We got our sideboard cards. Alrighty then. We got our Stony. We got a Path. We even have a Worship. This looks pretty good, pretty good. Alright, what do you got, opponent? Ink Moth, Mox Opal, and passing. Well, Wooded Foothills, Racket, grab a Forest, Noble Hierarch, pass the turn. Oh, we got him so good. They even have Steel Overseer. Opponent's gonna nug us for one? Oh, they're gonna nug us for one and then potentially just scoop as we resolve this Stony Silence. Down to one, yep, one Infect. Hardened Scales. Well, hopefully our opponent enjoyed their colored mana while they could. Stony Silence. Opponent's deck doesn't do anything. We do need some threats. We need an Ajani to close out this game. Ooh, green mana. Okay, that's a Forest. Opponent. Walking Ballista. And passes. Well, Windswept Heath. Crack it. Grab a Temple Garden. Tapped. Play Archer. Play Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. Ink Moth. Yeah, opponent's getting in. Well, we'll take it. Probably two Infect. Alright, let's get rid of the Ink Moth. That does beat our Worship. Opponent passing. Well, crack Windswept Heath. Grab a Temple Garden. Come on, Ajani's. Well, play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Worker for our opponent. They are getting extra counters. Gets in with Ballista. Sure. Down to 15. And there's Ravager. Well, crack this. Grab Stomping Grounds. Opponent passes. Good God. Play Temple Garden. Run out our Worship. Pass the turn. Opponent. Getting in with the Dorks. Yup. Down to 8. Hanger back. Opponent passes. Well, play the Forest. We're not drawing Ajani's, but we're drawing some sweet sideboard options. Opponent. Sweet. Alright, well, I mean... Oh man, we've got some gotcha cards in our sideboard. Settle the Wreckage. Pick them up, pick them up, pick them all up, and throw them into the exile zone. They do have a million basics. Ravager. Opponent passes. Alright, pass the turn. Oh, we need an Ajani so desperately. Opponent. Evolutionary Leap. Well, Path Ravager. Opponent. Okay, throwing a Geth. Come on, Ajani! We need an Ajani! Well, get in with Archer. We're just drawing all sideboard hate cards. Hit our opponent for 3. Pass the turn. Opponent. Once they find a creature, they just refill their hand. Opponent passes. Get in with Archer. It's not an Ajani, but at least Dungrove Elder is big. Hit our opponent. Play the Forest. Play Dungrove Elder. Pass the turn. Whiff. Whiff. 2 more turns. 2 more turns for Ajani's. Another leap, that's a whiff. Opponent passes. Well, get in with Dungrove and Archer. If our opponent whiffs 1 more turn, we got it. Hit our opponent, play Troll, pass the turn. Come on, 1 more turn. 1 more turn whiff. And we'll get the Ajani Tribal Ajani free win. Opponent. What creature did they find? Ravager. Sacks it. Finds. Alright, there's the hanger back. Ooh. And they found a Nature's Claim. Interesting. Well, thankfully we have another Stony Silence in hand. There's the hanger back. 3 counters. Opponent sacks to proliferate. Up to 5 counters. And passes. Well, I mean, we play Stony Silence. Resolves. Attack, attack. Opponent blocks. Sacks hanger back. Yup. Finds Ravager. Drops to 2. We play Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. Evolutionary Leap. Opponent sacks. Steel Overseer. Okay. Finds an Ink Moth. Plays Ravager. Plays Steel Overseer. Opponent. Passing. I'll crack Windswept Heath. Get a land out of our deck. We gotta stop drawing lands. We need an Ajani. Ooh, that is an Ajani. That means we win! But that is the perfect Ajani. Ajani Vengeance? The reason we're splashing red in this deck? Lightning Helix your face? Oh my god, Ajani coming through! Yes? Hopefully we're not missing anything. Good game? Good game? Mono green affinity counter thing? And, oh, opponent says no fun. Well, sorry, opponent. Activates Ink Moth. Sacks it. Counters on Ink Moth. And scoops it up! Ajani Tribal! Well, we did draw many Ajanis. We drew a lot of sideboard cards, but the Ajani came through with the head. It came through with the head. Sweet. Alright. Against the odds time, we are Ajani Tribaling in Modern, and we'll give this a go. We've got, oh, elves? Good God. Unsure how this will go. Windswept Eve, bracket, grab a forest, and the noblest of hierarchs. Pass the turn. Opponent gets in for 1. Alright, we'll take it. Down to 18. Heritage Druid, Gilleaf Palace, tapped. Path? Ajani Vengeant. Well, that's Temple Garden, untapped. Play Ajani. Counter on Noble Hire. Pass the turn. And let's see how much damage is done here. Heritage Druid is scariest card in the elf deck. Land. Clan Caller. Opponent goes attacking. Interesting. At our face. Alright. Down to 12. Opponent passes. Well, Wooded Foothills. Crack it. Grab a Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Ajani Vengeant. Alright. Kill the Lord. It feels weird to let the Heritage Druid live, but I guess that's what we gotta do. Land. Mystic. Shaman of the pack. Down to 8. Yep. Opponent kills Ajani. Hits us. Yep. Down to 7. Well, played Dungrove Elder. Counter on Dungrove Elder. Windswept Eve. Pass the turn. Another Shaman of the pack is bad. Archdruid's not great. Alright. Opponent's out of cards. Alright. Alright. Opponent gets in. So we get to block here, crack Windswept Eve, get a Temple Garden, kill Shaman, counter on Dungrove Elder, play Dungrove Elder, pass the turn, and I think we might be able to double Ajani for the win next turn. Oh, Coco off the top. Wow. And that's game. Oh my goodness. What a draw, what a draw. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, okay. Oh, dear. Bring in Worship, Settle the Wreckage, Ratchet Bomb Path. Go down 2 Birds of Paradise, 1 Little Ajani, a Ledgewalker, and a Ledgewalker. Try it like that. Well, we're on the play. All right. I mean, I guess we'll keep this. Forest and the Noblest of Hierarchs. Land, off the top. You can do it, deck. Pass the turn. Forest for our opponent. Elves of Deep Shadow. Land. Oh, play Noble Hierarch. Play Noble Hierarch. We're doing it the Hierarch way. Opponent. Forest. Duinian's Elite. Elves of Deep Shadow. Opponent passes. Well, play Ajani. Counter on Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Forest for our opponent. Lead the Stampede for how many cards? 3. Opponent gets in. I will take it. Down to 18. Opponent passes. So awkward. Play Troll. Counter on Troll. Pass the turn. Opponent. Archdruid. And Duinian's Elite. Yep. Opponent gets in. Alright, so we get to block with Troll. And then Path Archdruid. I mean, we're staying alive-ish. Tap land. How much can we hit for? 16? We can put our opponent to literal 1. Well, I mean, play Ajani. Plus on Troll Ascetic. Minus on Troll Ascetic. Double strike, Flying First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Hexproof. Bunch of Exalted triggers. Hit our opponent for 16, gain 16, opponent at 1, which turns off these Elves of Deep Shadow. But can we find a way to force through the last point of damage? That's the question. We still might be good, though. And opponent scoops it up. All right, we got there. All right, run it back. Let's do that again. Ajani's coming through. Okay, we're going to keep it. We got to find a hexproof creature, but Worship is one of our best jank 'em out cards. Our opponent may not have answers. So, come on, creatures. Mystic. Opponent passes. Windswept Heath, go. Creatures. We need creatures. And to live to this Worship. Guiltleaf. Untapped. Reveals Elf. Lead the Stampede. Ugh. Archdruid, Shaman. I guess Shaman of the pack beats us through Worship anyway. Oops. Temple Garden. Creature. That's an Ajani. Temple Garden tapped. One of the weird things about Ajani as a Planeswalker is they do not do anything until you have creatures. Oh no. Heritage Druid. Not looking good. Not looking good. Llanowar Elves. Taps them for Archdruid. Oh boy. Yup. And we don't have a removal spell. That's not a creature. Ugh. Yeah, we're seeing the drawback of Ajani's here. Unlike some planeswalkers that stand alone as threats, Ajanis are very powerful, but almost every single Ajani needs a creature to do anything relevant. Land or elves. So this Ajani Caller of Pride is basically just eating a bit of damage, most likely. Oh yeah. So much. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess the good news is we weren't going to beat this draw anyway in a million years. Are we just literally dead? Yeah, we are. Playing Shaman to the pack and then attacking with their elves. Well, our worship would not have mattered. Nothing in our deck would have mattered against this draw other than some Path Exiles. Huh, alright. Well, I guess the Johnnies can't win them all. Alright, against the odds time, we are playing Ajani Tribal in Modern, and we're gonna keep this. It's definitely a bit sketchy if our Hierarchs die. Or get hit by, ooh, Vampire Lacerator. Okay, vampire time. Well, Windswept Eve, crack it. Temple Garden, untapped. Play Noble Hierarch. Ship the turn. Opponent. Taking one from Lacerator. Getting in for 2 with Lacerator. We'll take it. Down to 15. Yup. Opponent. More Lacerators. Foreboding Ruins. Oh, this might be our budget deck. Tapped. Well, play Noble Hierarch. Play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Lacerator is going to ping our opponent a bit. Down to 17. Opponent gets in. Alright, let's path a Lacerator. Opponent grabs the plains. We drop to 13. Foreboding Ruins. Tapped. Alright, crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a Stomping Grounds. Tapped. Well, let's just play Ajani Vengeance. Ajani, number 1. Tap down, Lacerator. Temple Garden tapped. Ship the turn. Opponent down to 16. Nocturnus. Oh, thank God, no black card on top. Well, that saves our... Yeah, opponent scoops it up, because now we can just Ajani the Nocturnus. Oh, boy. Oh, that was close. Well... Bring in the Settle the Wreckage. Go down. Birds of Paradise. Ajani Caller of Pride. Ledgewalker. And 1 Big Ajani. I guess we can go down the other birds. Let's try it like that. Alright. Well, this might be a jank 'em out game. No Ajani's in hand, but we have Dungrove Elders in Worship. Foreboding Ruins, and a Settle, which is good. Opponent passes. Well, Temple Garden, go. Opponent, Swamp, and Dusk Legion Zealot. Well, Wooded Foothills, go. Opponent, gonna get in with Dusk Legion, down to 19. Yep. And Gifted Aetherborn. Alright, let's crack. Temple Garden, number 2. Play a Swamp, and let's just Dungrove Elder. Put up some defense. Pass the turn. Opponent. Isolated Chapel. And Stromkirk Captain. Opponent. Getting in with the Gifted Aetherborn. Yep. Down to 15. Alright, so let's just play Dungrove Elder. Arid Mesa. Pass the turn. Caves of Koilos. And, alright, Legion Lieutenant. Opponent gets in with Aetherborn. Yep. Down to 11. Well, now we're going to have to play Worship. Play the Forest. Play Worship. Pass the turn. No attacks. Opponent. Ugh. Well, good thing our stuff is hexproof. If it wasn't for that, that would be super obnoxious. Opponent. No attacks. Alright. Path Captivating Vampire. We gotta do this so we can play Noble Hierarch. Play Noble Hierarch. Play Troll Ascetic. Pass the turn. We still gotta figure out a way to actually kill our opponent. Alright. Bolts Hierarch. We're not very close to winning. Captivating Vampire. Yep. Opponent passes. Well, Dungrove Elder, number 3. Eldertron. Pass the turn. Eldertron Highlander. Foreboding Ruins. So, oh my God, another Lord. How do we get from here? Temple Garden tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent. More Captivating Vampires. Opponent passes. Alright. Play Ajani. Tick down. We're probably just going to be throwing Ajani's away, essentially, since our opponent, if they want, can attack and kill it. Another captivating vampire. Oh, well, good thing we got a worship. Yes. Yes. Gotcha. 25 turns from now, opponent. You better watch out. We're not gonna play the Ajani, but that's a way to win. Not gonna be quick or pretty, but it is a plan. Ooh, I don't know about that. Oh, we're at 10 life, so okay. Opponent passes. Well, get in with Ledgewalker. Nug our opponent for 1. Doing it. All right. Play Archer. Pass the turn. Yep. Lacerator does nothing. And passes. Play the Archer. Get in for 1. Pass the turn. They must have an answer somewhere. Uh-oh. What is happening? Nocturnus. Well, that's going to shut down our Ledgewalker. Ajani Steadfast. This game. Counter him up. No flying at the moment. Get in for 2. Hit our opponent. Pass the turn. Well, we got him back down to 21. Plays a land. Opponent passes. Well, play Troll Ascetic. Ajani. Play a Plains. Get in for 3. Opponent down to 18. Pass the turn. Dusk Legion Zealot. Oh, what a ridiculous life we're living. Oh, this match. Now they get to start getting in and gaining life? Okay. Down to 1. Pass the turn. Terminate, not relevant. Oh boy. Does our opponent still gain life? They do. Up to 38. We can attack. Pass the turn. I guess at some point we can... another Gifted Aetherborn. At some point we're going to get in a big hit with an Ajani Color of the Pride thing. But our opponent's gaining absurd amounts of life. Up to 48. Well, play a Ledgewalker. Pass the turn. Sooner or later, they're going to stop. All right, no black card on top, so at least we're not getting hit this turn. Dusk Legion Zealot. Another Lacerator. Black card on top. Opponent gets in. Oh, opponent drew a card! They drew a card! Okay. As long as we don't draw a card, our opponent mills out first. That's a plan. That's a plan. If Worship lives, that is a way we can win this game. Another Aetherborn. Land. Opponent passes. All right, well, Township is something we can do while we're doing nothing. Pass the turn. Cutthroat, sure. Black card. Another Nocturnus. Opponent's board's insane, but I'm not sure if they can kill us. Opponent gets in. Gains a ton of life. Sure. Up to 81. Put some counters on the dorks. Temple Garden, tapped. We can't even attack because they all have flying to block our stuff. Another black card on top. Cutthroat. Opponent. Maybe at some point we have to settle just to get rid of the Aetherborns. Opponent hits us up to 105. Well, counters on the dorks. Play Windswept Teeth. Pass the turn. Opponent. Dusk Legion Zealot on top. Another Lord. Gains some life. Oh my god. Up to 131. This match is a good example of how life totals do not necessarily indicate who's winning. Alright, Ledgewalker. Pass the turn. Lightning Bolt. Alright, finally not a black card, but opponent gets to redraw. Okay, Swamp. It's not a black card! And we're actually going to hit them for some damage. Township. Well, Township. Get in. Haha. Gotcha. All the way down to 115 or something. 113. Pass the turn. Black card on top. So opponent's going to gain all that life back. Yep. Opponent gets in. Yep. Gains a bunch of life. Up to 139. Opponent passes. Alright. Path is a way we can actually deal with one of those things. Yeah, pass the turn. Opponent. Alright. Swamp on top. Legion Lieutenant. Opponent passing. Well, counters on the dorks. Untap. Ooh. Well, let's play Ajani. Counters on the dorks. Gavany Township. Opponent bolts Ajani. I mean, we get in a big hit. But our opponent's gaining so much life. We're hitting with 30 power of hexproof, essentially unblockable things, and it is not even really putting a dent in our opponent's life total. Opponent passes. Alright, no attacks. Well, play the Forest. Play Ajani. Dungrove Elder. Oh, we're gonna get in a huge attack. Alright. Counters on the dorks. Hit our opponent. Wow! All the way down to 44? Man, maybe there's a chance we can win with damage. Land on top. Okay. Is there actually a chance that we could just actually win this game like a normal deck? Opponent, thinking over their options. Opponent passes. Tick up on a ledge walker. Counters on the dorks. Not quite lethal. Get in. Down to 11. Pass the turn. Black card on top. Alright, let's think about this. Gets in. Gets in. Let's settle the wreckage. If they spin into a non-black card, then we get to actually just normally win. Alright, opponent's got a black card on top. We draw a land. Tick up on Ledgewalker. Play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Those are some big hexproof creatures. Dragon Skull Summit. Opponent gets to redraw for a black card to stay alive. Black card. Not making it easy, not making it easy. Passing. Well, let's Township. Alright, I think this does it. Path, Nighthawk. Oh, finally. Wow. Well, Worship. Sometime. Oh, alright. Into a non-land. Well, let's do it. Ajani. Attack, 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 attack. And our opponent was at a absurdly high life total, but we got there, we got there, we got there. Ajani Tribal, sometimes Worship just gets them. And our Ajani's didn't hurt either. Sweet. Alright, against the odds time, we are playing some Ajani Tribal in Modern, and we'll keep this. I mean, we got our most expensive Ajani. Ugh, Memnite. Alright, this will be interesting in game one. Ornithopter. Ornithopter. Well, thankfully our opponent does not have much power. Noble Hierarch, go. Pass the turn. Darksteel Citadel. Yeah, that adds a lot of power. Path off the top would be pretty wonderful. Down to 19. Well, play the Forest. Play Noble Hierarch. Play Noble Hierarch. Get in with Noble Hierarch. Unfortunately, opponent gets to put a counter on everything. So this Ajani might just be too late. That's Champion. That doesn't make it easier. Counters on the dorks. Opponent gets in for 4. Sure. I'll play Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Grab a Forest. I don't know if this is enough. Play Ajani. Kill Steel Overseer. Pass the turn. Mox Opal. Ugh. Karn. Makes an 8-8. Yeah. Opponent gets in for a ton. Kills Ajani down to 9. Windswept Teeth. And yes, we will scoop it up. Alright. Well, time to bring in the sideboard cards. That's the name of the modern game. And we do have a lot of them. Actually, like a million. The question is, how do we make them fit? We can go down Ledgewalker. We can go down Birds of Paradise. We can go down Big Ajani, go down one Caller of the Pride, and Adversary Tyrants. Try it like that. Alright, I mean, we got a plan. It's slow, which is scary. Wooded Foothills, go. It's possible even on the play we're dead before we can cast Fracturing Gust. We'll see. Stony Silence would be nice. Land, Springleaf Drum, 0-mana Artifact, Ornithopter, and Signal Pest. I'll crack Wooded Foothills, grab a Temple Garden. Stony Silence would be so sweet. Alright, this is actually reasonable. It stops the Signal Pest from slamming into us, which also stops Ornithopter. Cranioplating. Equips. Opponent gets in. Well, I mean, we're going to trade. Kill the Ornithopter. Opponent passes. Wooded Foothills. Ancient Grudge is not a bad draw. Steel Overseer. Opponent equips. Alright, crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Stomping Grounds, untapped. Ancient Grudge, Cranioplating. Opponent passes. Yeah. Windswept Teeth, crack it. Grab a Plains. Play Ajani. Gain a couple life. Pass the turn. Ornithopter. So hopefully Ajani lives and we can just Fracturing Gust for essentially the win. Oh yeah. This is gonna be good. Opponent can get in for 1. Yep. Down to 17. Take up Ajani. Play Gavany Township. And I mean, yeah, let's just do it. If they have their last card as Spell Pierce, then I guess good on ya. Whoo! Fracturing Gust up to 31, and Ajani's. Spire of Industry. A sad little spire. Wow. We might actually just win with the Avatar. Cannot beat the Ajani. We take up one turn, Ancient Grudge, whatever our opponent plays, make a 31-31, and yeah, take that Affinity. Well, sideboard cards coming through, and let's do that again. Let's draw our sideboard cards. All right. I mean, we'll keep this. Blink Moth Nexus, Springleaf Drum, Ornithopter, and Hopagerper. Opponent passes. Well, Temple Garden untapped. Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Opponent getting in for 1. Yep. Down to 17. Steel Overseer. Crack Steel Overseer. Alright. Well, play Wooded Foothills. Play Noble Hierarch. Crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a Stomping Ground. Play Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Upkeep. Pass Steel Overseer. Opponent gets a counter on Ornithopter. Yep. Gets a Mountain. Another Steel Overseer. Opponent getting in for 1. Sure. Well, we Ancient Grudge Steel Overseer, play Noble Hierarch. All 4 Noble Hierarchs go attacking, hit our opponent for 4, pass the turn. Ugh, Gerper Ether Grid. Opponent passing. Oh, play Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills, grab a Temple Garden, untapped, play Ajani, take down Ajani. Opponent's going to kill a Noble Hierarch. Alright. Get in with Noble Hierarch. Hit our opponent. And pass the turn. Cranial Plating. Okay. Equips. Well, Ancient Grudge. Opponent. Passing. Whew. More Ajani's. Okay. Play Ajani. Take down Ajani. Take up Ajani. And I think Ajani Tribal is just handling Affinity. And opponent scoops it up! Ajani Tribal! It's too good! It's just too good! It's too good! Sweet. Sweet! I don't know what's happening, but it's sweet. Alright, against the odds time, we are playing some Ajani Tribal. And we're gonna try this. It is risky because we only have 1 actual land. And if this Noble Hierarch dies, we might just never cast a thing ever. So, Temple Garden, untapped. Run out our Noblest of Hierarchs. Pass the turn, creating the magic gods that Noble Hierarch lives so we can cast things. Oh, God almighty. Land! We need a land! We need a land! Grim Lavamancer is going to take down our Hierarch. Well, that is a land. So, Stomping Grounds untapped. Down to 16, which is sketchy. Play Troll Ascetic. Pass the turn. Sacred Foundry untapped. Oh, Plated Geopede, spicy. Land! 1 more land. Opponent passes. Noble Hierarch. Well, play Noble Hierarch. Play Archer. Get in with Troll Ascetic. Hit our opponent. Down to 12. Pass the turn. Opponent. Sacred Foundry. Pumps the Geopede. Yup. Goes attacking. Sure. Down to 13. Is it Ajani time? Jotun Grunt. Okay. Well, play Ajani. Counters on our Hexproof Dorks. And, yeah, I mean, I guess we get in with Troll? Yeah, attack with Troll. Opponent takes it to 6. Okay. Alright, Lightning Bolts our face to keep the Grunt alive. Okay. Opponent. Bushwhacker. Okay. Opponent goes attacking, Yeah, let's chump. Take 2. Down to 8. Opponent passes. So play a Forest. Attack with our Troll. Opponent's got a block. This is kind of working. Opponent blocks. So now we Ajani back Archer. Play Ajani Goldmane. Gain a couple life. Ajani number 2. Back up to 10. Pass the turn. And now the Grunt is definitely going away. Pass the Noble Hierarch. Okay. We grab a Path. Bolts our face. Sweet mother of mercy. Just kidding. Now we are dead if our opponent top decks a land. Oh my god. They better not top deck a land. Whoa. That was the full combo. Opponent. Gonna go attacking. Okay. So we block here. Down to 3. Opponent passes. So Ajani back Archer. Play Ledgewalker. Play Noble Hierarch. Get in with our Troll. Force the chump. Opponent blocks. Take up Ajani to get out of bolt range. And I think we got there. Opponent sacks the grunt, cannot pay for the upkeep, and opponent scoops it up. Ajani's getting the job done. Okay. All right. I mean, we got a troll and we got some Ajanis. Probably gonna move Worship into the sideboard after this match. Seems too good to pass up as a sideboard card for combo. All right, opponent's got Goblin Guide. Gonna start the beats. They did mulligan though. All right, Ajani Goldmane on top. Well, Windswept Teeth, you out in for our opponent. Getting in with a Goblin Guide, sure. Ooh, all right, Tower Archer on top. So I think we keep that. So we draw Tower Archer. Ugh, I don't like this, but we got to get Temple Garden down to 13. Play the Forest, play Tower Archer. Pass the turn. We can start gaining life back with our Ajani's pretty soon. Grim Lavamancer. Opponent, no attacks. I'll play Windswept Teeth. Crack it. Grab a Plains. And yeah, run out Caller of the Pride. Counter on Archer. Pass the turn. Opponent. Ooh, Devastating Summons. Just to get a spell in the graveyard. Okay, that's one way to get a spell in the graveyard. Gets in. Birds on top. All right, we're going to take it down to 10. So, Stomping Grounds, untap down to 8. Pick up Ajani, play Ajani number 2, Ajani Steadfast, and this is a good way to win an aggro race. First strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, get in for 5, gain 5, and we keep that benefit through our opponent's turn, so they can't even attack into it. And we got more Ajani's for next turn. Ajanitron perhaps being assembled. Opponent, yup, no attacks. Well, play a Forest, play Birds of Paradise, play Ajani. Take down Ajani. Oh man, we're so close to just winning here. Take up Ajani. Take up Ajani. Go attacking. First strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Reach, Hexproof, up to 20. Opponent down to 8. And I think Ajanitron is just dominating this game. Dominating, I say. Well, that's what we imagined happening with Ajanitron. That is pretty much exactly it. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. Cracks it, but it's too little too late. Steplings. All right, sure. Opponent passing. Well, I mean, we got to do it. We drew 4 Ajani's. We got to play them all. So we ultimate Ajani. Take up Ajani. Sorry, opponent. We got to do it. Opponent scoops it up. All right. And that was Ajani Tribal going to town. Going literally to town, and that was good. That worked. Sweet. So what did we learn this week about Ajani Tribal in Modern? And the deck worked way better than I ever would have guessed. We played 5 matches. We won 4 of them, which is 80% match win percentage, which is really good. One of the better against odds decks we've had in a while. And then as far as games, we got in 13. We won 9 of them, which is like 69.2%. So no matter how you break it down, Ajani Tribal was way more effective than I would have thought heading into it. So we had a lot of success, and we played some pretty reasonable decks. We played against Affinity, we played against Hardened Scales Affinity, we played against Vampires, which was a little bit weird. We did lose to Elves, but we beat like a red-white sort of landfall-y aggro deck, zoo type deck. So we did a really good job of being able to keep up with a lot of really powerful decks, and I think that the Ajani plan was surprisingly effective. Just like playing hexproof creatures, playing Ajani's, using the Ajani's on the hexproof creatures, that was a way to win a lot of games, and I was very impressed with how the plan came together. We did see maybe once or twice the downside of Ajani's, which is they don't really do anything on their own, and we had a couple of games where we just didn't really draw creatures. We were playing Ajani's. I think Elves was one of the biggest examples of that. We're playing Ajani's and they're just like doing nothing, like literal nothing, because we don't have any creatures. But with a bunch of hexproof creatures, a bunch of just random Manador creatures, which were more important than I thought, because even though they're in the deck to ramp into our Ajani's, the fact that we can put counters on them and turn them into real threats was surprisingly relevant to the deck. So I don't really know. know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I thought Ajani Tribal would be one of the harder tribal decks and one of the less good Planeswalker tribal decks, but it actually ended up being really successful. Our sideboard cards were very effective and very good. The Ajanis just locked down the game against creature decks by making our creatures so good and gaining random life. So, yeah, I mean, apparently jamming all the Ajanis together with a bunch of janky hexproof creatures is a pretty effective way to win some games in Modern against all odds. So anyway, that's been our Against the Odds for this week. I don't know what to tell you. Ajani Tribal, it was sweet. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free, and you can find the next video in the playlist right here.